I was on camera. There you go. I figured
I know she's coming and I was working on it.
See you later, Michael. Hey. Are you here ready?
What do you mean? Something similar to
Good evening, everybody. So report out on closed session. Direction was given, no action taken. With that, I'd like to call this meeting to order, and if you'll please stand and join me for the pledge, and remain standing while Councilman Lassonde gives the invocation.
God, we come before you and we praise you for all the blessings that you have showered upon this town. And we thank you for the hard work that our staff has done to put this package together. We ask that we have wisdom and that we are able to work through all these items. And Father, we thank you for just all the residents that show up each and every day, that come here to these meetings, that give us their opinions. We thank you for their willingness to participate in this, in our government. And Father, we thank you for the first responders. We ask that you keep them safe. We know they're out there each and every day protecting the citizens of this town, keeping us from harm and helping us in our dire straits. Father, just keep them safe and bring them back to us. In your son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Melanie, roll call.
Roll call, Councilmember Bullen.
Here.
Councilmember Culleton.
Here.
Councilmember Lang. Here. Councilmember Lassonde.
Here.
And Mayor Crowder.
Here. Okay. So, item 1E, we have a Town of Paradise proclamation. Whereas on July 4th, 1776, the Second Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence, establishing the principles of liberty, equality, self-government, and individual rights that continue to guide our nation. And whereas the United States celebrates its 250th anniversary in 2026, the Town of Paradise joins communities across the country in recognizing this historic milestone and reflecting on the nation's founding ideals and the responsibilities of citizenship. And whereas the Town of Paradise recognizes the many individuals and groups who have helped shape our community and our nation, including Indigenous peoples, veterans, immigrants, educators, first responders, civic leaders, volunteers, businesses, faith communities, and generations of residents whose service and dedication have strengthened both. And whereas the people of Paradise have shown remarkable resilience through times of hardship and recovery, demonstrating the values of service, perseverance, compassion, and community that continue to define our town. And whereas the nation's semi-quincentennial is an opportunity to celebrate our local and national history, honor those who have served our community and country, encourage civic participation, and inspire future generations to uphold the principles of democracy, freedom, and self-government. And whereas the town of Paradise encourages all residents to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the United States of America and to reflect on our shared history while working together to build a stronger future. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Town Council of the Town of Paradise hereby proclaims July 4th, 2026 as a day of celebration commemorating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the official seal in the town of Paradise to be affixed this 14th day of July, 2026. Thank you. So, thank you for doing that, Melanie. So, item 1F, presentation by the Paradise Ridge Chamber of Commerce. This is on our, Colette, are you?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item before you is just the presentation of our Transient Occupancy Tax, or TOT, reinvestment program. Our recipients who received those over the last year are going to give a very brief overview on how those funds were spent over this past year. As you know, Council directed staff to initiate a program 3 years ago that would utilize a portion of our TOT funds to reinvest back into the community to groups that invested in tourism. And so we have asked those groups to come tonight to give a very high-level overview of how those funds were spent over the last year. This last year was the third year of that 3-year program, and so we are reinitiating that at Council's direction starting in August for a 1-year program where we will be soliciting new applications for groups in Paradise for that program. So that will have more to come, but tonight we will hear from our previous recipients, starting with the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. I do have an overview presentation, I hope. While that's rolling, I will begin my opening remarks. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for your continued investment in the Chamber's resident attraction efforts through the TOT Economic Development Program. I'd like to thank the Town Council for recognizing that economic development includes resident attraction. Your investment has allowed us to begin a sophisticated, measurable marketing campaign that would not have been possible otherwise. Tonight, I will provide an overview of the work completed over the past year, how we've evolved the campaign, and some of the early results we're seeing. This work represents the next phase of our long-term strategy to attract new residents, support housing demand, and strengthen Paradise's economy. Our objectives and accomplishments are as follows. The overarching objective has been to position Paradise as a competitive choice for prospective homebuyers and new residents. Over the past year, we've increased awareness of Paradise as a desirable place to live, shifted our messaging to emphasize affordability, quality of life, outdoor recreation, and community. We've reached carefully targeted relocation audiences through digital marketing. We've continued positioning Paradise as a forward-looking community that is intentionally rebuilding. This work is about staying visible in a very competitive relocation marketplace. Our concept, A Piece of Paradise, represents a creative refresh. As our research evolved, so did our messaging. Rather than simply telling people about Paradise, we wanted to help them imagine themselves living here. The Piece of Paradise concept is intentionally personal. Whether someone is a young family, a retiree, or a remote worker, we're inviting them to envision what their own life could look like here. And as I mentioned, the creative refresh, here are a few slides that demonstrate some of the creative efforts that we're using in our various channels. Consistency is important because relocation decisions happen over months, not days. People need to see Paradise repeatedly before they begin taking it seriously. So these are just examples of the various channels that you won't see this on because this is not targeted to people who already live here. So rather than spending the budget all at once, we've built year-round strategy using multiple channels that reinforce one another. These include search engine marketing for people actively researching relocation, website retargeting to reconnect with previous visitors, targeted email campaigns, addressable display advertising, meta-sponsored ads, connected TV advertising. Each channel serves a different purpose, but together they keep Paradise visible throughout a prospective resident's decision-making process. So previous to January 2025, we were developing the creative. This is an example of our latest targeted email results. Each campaign reaches 25,000 carefully selected and expensive to purchase households, I might add. Open rates consistently exceed industry benchmarks, and click-through rates demonstrate meaningful engagement from audiences interested enough to seek additional information. Each click directs prospective residents to welcometotheridge.com and other community resources where they can learn about living here. This is a heat map of our most recent June email. It tells us that people are real interested in hiking. Here's a snapshot of 1 month's activity. During June alone, campaign messaging was delivered more than 300,000 times, generating more than 4,200 engagements with prospective residents. That's an average of more than 10,000 impressions every day, helping keep Paradise top of mind with audiences most likely to relocate. These are measurable results that simply weren't possible without the town's investment. So I should have advanced to that, but you've all got that. And I want to can you hit that link to commercial? We're very proud of this. There you go.
Just up the road, there's a different way to live. There's more room to breathe, space to grow, and the freedom to shape your next chapter. Surrounded by stunning natural beauty and a welcoming community. There's more me time, more we time. Affordability may bring you here, but the lifestyle is what keeps you. Discover your piece of paradise at welcometotheridge.com.
And I'd like to point out that is the voice talent of my colleague, Emma Miller. Also, you might hear her answering the phone at the chamber.
Here's what comes off the little strawberries when you drop this device in the water. These berries are fresh from the store and already melted, but within 10 minutes, the water changes color.
Council, thank you again for your continued partnership. This campaign is producing encouraging early results, but resident attraction is not a one-year project. All right, Emma, settle down. Communities across California are competing for the same families, retirees, and remote workers. Maintaining an evergreen campaign keeps Paradise visible during the months-long relocation decision process and ensures we're not starting over each year. We appreciate the town's vision and investment in this work and look forward to continuing on building this momentum together. Thank you again.
Thank you, Monica.
I'm Kelly Connor, Paradise Performing Arts Center President. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. Tonight I'd like to provide a brief report on how the Paradise Performing Arts Center used the town's allocation from the transient occupancy tax to promote tourism and bring visitors to Paradise over the past year. Our goal was simple: use these funds to attract audiences from outside our community, encourage overnight stays, support our local restaurants and businesses, and continue building Paradise as a destination for arts and entertainment. The funding allowed us to invest in quality performances, and targeted advertising that reached audience throughout the North State. I'll walk you through how the funds were spent and the activities that they supported. The funds were used in 4 primary areas: artist performances, lodging for performers, advertising through radio and television, and promotional materials. Here is the breakdown. During the last 25-26 TOT grant fund cycle, the PPAC used the funds to continue its benefit concert series. During this period, we produced 4 shows with 2 more scheduled this year. More than 2,500 people bought tickets and that was about 30% from out of the area. We had Definitely Dead. We paid $3,000 for the Deadheads. Petty Rocks, $1,500 was spent for them. Paul Thorne, we paid $5,500. The upcoming shows are the Blues Project, and their fee is $1,500. And Tommy Castro and the Painkillers will be coming in October, and that will cost $3,000. We rented 21 local hotel rooms for artists that equaled $2,730. Local TV and radio advertising cost $2,250. For the green room, we supplied the artists food, which comes from local restaurants. The buyout was $1,000 to $15,000 spent locally. We appreciate the town's partnership and investment in the Performing Arts Center. Every performance brings people into Paradise who dine in our restaurants, shop in our stores, and experience firsthand the progress that our community has made. Thank you for your continued support.
Thank you, Kelly. Next, we have the Paradise Arts Center.
Good evening, Council. I'm Kathleen Dysert. I'm actually Chair of the Community Outreach Committee for Paradise Arts Center. Due to short notice, Greg Sanchez, who's the current president, could not be here tonight because he is setting up another one of our galleries, because we've got 3 of them now that we continually refresh them. So I don't have a lot of details since this is kind of sprung on me at the last minute. I do know that we spent our monies the same way we have the last 3 years, which is basically on outside advertising for events going on in the Arts Center, or sometimes it's regular advertising, both in television, radio, and newspaper, out of town in Sacramento, in Redding, and then a little bit through KZFR and through some of the other magazines here. It has made a difference. I know from Nick's, where we have one of our galleries, we're getting outside people coming up to Paradise. I mean, it may only be Chico, but it is Sacramento, are coming up, and they're increasing those that come up on a regular basis anytime we change the show. The attendance and the membership at Paradise Arts Center has never been higher than it has now in the last 60 years it's been in business. We're probably 3 times as large as we were before the fire, with a population a lot less than we had. So these aren't people that are just in Paradise necessarily, that we're getting a lot of young families. We're seeing an increase of male artists now in our programs. And interestingly enough, we're getting people who own property here that come up and visit, that may be artists, or they come in and they're looking. I talked to one just yesterday who wants to show their art here and see it, and are interested in what Paradise has to offer in a way that they've never known about before. We thank the town and the support the town is giving artists locally. And with that, we know how the split is for the next RFP that should be coming out soon. And with that, a lot of the arts communities and organizations who are members of Paradise Arts Alliance. That was the first arts group formed after the fire, which is all arts organizations belong to this particular group. We decided, particularly in the spirit of how these monies need to be spent, which is promotion and economic development of the town, that we are actually not individually, a lot of us will not individually go for TOT funds, knowing how important and how much they helped us. But we feel as a united arts organization under the Alliance, we can do more for all of our artists, not just the organizations, but artists themselves. We can do more for the town, we can do more for Chamber, and we can do more for PRPD. I'm supporting to all of the people that we do business with by going in on a mutual project that will identify Paradise as an arts destination through concerted and well-thought-out promotion of Paradise as a thriving and vibrant arts organization. So I have already been entrusted with the job of writing up that grant when the RFP comes out. And we are so thankful at how supportive you've been. And we love the working relationship with the town and the other organizations. We're making this town really great. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. We have Gold Nugget Museum.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. Want to first let you know, as you may already know, that the Gold Nugget Museum is in a state of repair, that we currently have an independent forensic audit being conducted by the Board of Directors at the museum. We're searching out the information that would pertain specifically to how the money is being spent, has been spent, since we're not actively spending the money. But we would like to ask for a little extension of time so that as the audit comes in, we're able to actually formulate all of the categories and information by line item that we can present to you. I want to reiterate what Ms. Dysart was talking about with focusing to the greater arts and cultural community. The Gold Nugget Museum Board currently advocates strongly for that collaboration and that we can do more as a collective than individually, bringing things back like it's important for the school program to return. It's important for the Tales of the Ridge to come back. It's important for Days of Living History to return to our community. And I just was asked to be here in order to convey that to you. And I'm open to any question you may have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. So next we have the Paradise Symphony.
Good evening, Council. Thank you. My name is Esther Tiedemann. I am subbing for our president. I'm the treasurer of the Paradise Symphony, and I also play in the symphony. And I thank you so much for your, lost the word. Well, there's the support. Your thing earlier where you declared July 4th a day of celebration. Well, we celebrated too. On July 4th, we had a gangbuster of a concert that involved not just the symphony, but many other groups from our town. Ron knows about that. He was there. Could I see a show of hands? How many of you were able to attend one of our two concerts? Thank you so much. This is the third year of the grant funds we have enjoyed, and we thank you so much for that. It allowed us to add permanent items to our collection of things, especially for July 4th. We have in the past bought a whole set of the service flags and so forth, and now we are so thrilled that we can just use them every year. This year, we did 2 concerts, and we shifted the time, and that seemed to really draw crowds in. The 2 concerts were equally attended, and we didn't have to turn anyone away at the door, which was great. There was just a lot of enthusiasm, much clapping and support, standing up and almost weeping. There are those moments when you hear taps. It gets to your heart. We estimated by using a show of hands that in our audience, we had approximately half of the people from Chico, and then we had lots of other places from Yuba City, Marysville, Gridley, Oroville, and even some folks from Germany. And a good number of families with younger children, too. The costs for putting on such a program are heavily weighted toward the expenses of the musicians. It is a community orchestra where most of us do not get paid, but there are some critical players that we need to find and be sure that they are available to us. So there are expenses in that, our music director, and also our venue. We've used the Performing Arts Center many times, and that was our venue again this year. In closing, I want to just thank you again for your generous support of these concerts, which are now a town tradition. This is year 6 for these performances. We hope that next year to draw even more people as a go-to destination for July 4th activities. We even had some folks from Chico say that they attended the Chico parade first and then came up the hill for the 2 o'clock show. So good for them. Thank you again for your support.
Thank you. Melanie, we have cards?
It has been withdrawn.
Okay.
We have one more organization to speak, Theater on the Ridge.
Yeah. Yes, go down. Hello, Mayor, Town Council. I'm Judy Clemens. I'm Executive Director of Theater on the Ridge, and very happy to be here this evening to speak to the last year and what we've done with our funds. Last year, we celebrated our 50th anniversary season, and the TOT funds continue to have helped us immensely with the ability to increase advertising expenses beyond Butte County and increased exposure with paid ads on social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, and our revamped website from last year has also been successful in bringing in new patrons from out of the area. The metrics are provided separately in the attached documents. Our children's program, Stagecoach Youth Theater, has benefited greatly from the funds to rent rehearsal space from the Paradise United Methodist Church, allowing for the scheduling of more classes and increased enrollment. We were also able to afford a total of 20 scholarships this last year, up from 6 scholarships in 2024 and 2025, totaling $5,150 over 3 sessions. Our educational outreach with our tech training program has garnered an additional 4 new young technicians to assist in productions with stage managing, lights, and sound, up from 6 last year. We now have 10 technicians of high school and college age, taking the place of many of us who are aging out and assuring that we maintain the quality of productions that our audiences expect and will continue to enjoy. Our total expenditures last year, advertising in print and media, totaled $1,892. Advertising on social media, $1,230. Our facility rental for our youth program, $5,760. Our Stagecoach scholarships totaled $5,150. Our tech training program totaled $1,060, and our total funds spent were $15,092. Just a little bit less than we were granted. Our plan for the calendar year 2026 and 27 is to partner under the umbrella of the Paradise Arts Alliance in support of funding that will benefit the entire arts and culture community here in Paradise. The Paradise Arts Alliance will be submitting a request collectively for funding for a possible interactive website, brochures, and/or map of all the arts and culture here in Paradise for wide distribution to promote and assist in economic development and bringing valuable tourist dollars to the town. It's also felt that these materials would assist with the Welcome to the Ridge project by bringing new residents to the Ridge. The arts community here provides a wealth of opportunities for new residents, young and old. Once again, thank you so much for your generosity with these grants. It has enabled those of us lucky enough to have received the funding to continue and grow and prosper. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Judy. Okay, item 1G, update from Lisa DeLavy on Pioneer Energy.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. As you know, last year, Council heard a report from Pioneer Energy, which is a community choice aggregation group, about their process, which would potentially lower energy rates for residents in Paradise. And so Council did vote to move forward with that process. And tonight we have Lisa Rhodes here to speak about that and give an update. You may recall this is something that would actually go into effect in 2027. So we have some time before this begins, but we did want to let you know this is still ongoing, and there is more information to be shared about that process as we move closer to that date. Lisa.
Sorry, Lisa's here with me, but it's okay. I'll be Lisa. No. Thank you, Colette. Thank you, Mayor Crowder, Town Council, for giving us the time today to give you guys this update. My name is Jake Trumbull. I'm with Pioneer with Lisa, our community outreach manager, and we're just going to give a quick update, as mentioned. So let's start, give a quick recap. Let's how we got here. Pioneer, Paradise, along with Butte County, Chico, and Oroville began initial conversations into the benefits of CCAs back in 2024. Following that, the Paradise Town Council received a presentation from Pioneer with staff recommendation to join. The Pioneer Board and Butte County, the City of Chico, City of Oroville, and the Town of Paradise all agreed to co-commission an impact assessment study to determine the feasibility of service expansion. Pioneer then shared the study findings with and board recommendation of an October 2027 service launch with the Pioneer Town Council and staff. In February 2025, the Paradise Town Council approved an ordinance and a resolution to join Pioneer, and 1 month later, Pioneer filed an implementation plan with the CPUC, which was later approved in the summer of 2025. Finally, after receiving final confirmation from the Town of Paradise to join, Pioneer began procuring power that same summer. As a quick reminder, a community choice aggregator, or a CCA, allows local government to purchase electricity on behalf of the customers in place of the investor-owned utilities. This is spurred on by the energy crisis in the early 2000s. California legislature passed AB 117 in 2002. Enabling community choice in its electricity providers. Now in California, 25 CCAs serve more than 200 communities, providing generation for approximately 15 million customers across the state. So here's a quick graphic showing Pioneer buying electricity on the open market from various suppliers and our relationship with PG&E, who remains responsible for delivering the electricity, maintaining the infrastructure of the lines and poles, and delivering the electricity while also managing the billing so customers only receive the one bill. As customers of both PG&E and Pioneer, customers have a choice on electricity providers. So, to get a little bit more specific on who we are here at Pioneer, we are established as a joint powers authority in 2017 by Placer County, later launching service in the same county in 2018. At Pioneer, we prioritize our ratepayer savings, our strong community partnership, and our reinvestment, and of course, our excellent customer service. We're proud to have saved customers $145 million since our launch in 2018, a savings that's spread across our 170,000 customer base. Pioneer is also committed to community reinvestment through local renewable energy projects, programs, and goods and services procurement. Very recently, Pioneer announced that it has signed 6 power purchase agreements, or PPAs, for local biomass, which represents over $500 million in renewable energy investments, one of those PPAs being right here in Butte County. Pioneer is also a recipient of an A- issuer credit rating from S&P Global and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. This here shows a map and list format of who Pioneer currently serves, highlighted in the green, and who Pioneer is planned to serve in the fall of 2027 following expansion in blue. This expansion will make Pioneer the geographically largest CCA in California. So just going to run through some of the quick benefits that Paradise is looking forward to seeing as a Pioneer partner. Joining Pioneer will, of course, provide a choice, not just for residents, but for business owners as well. With Pioneer, there's local governance and representation with rate setting, transparency, and consistent cost savings. Our member agencies are the priority, and we show that through community reinvestment, and we offer businesses the chance to meet other climate goals, along with everything else, of course, listed there. We're also able to offer early access to a few of our programs, including Clean Fleet Revenue Program and the Solar REX programs, in which member agencies can receive payments for renewable energy credits generated from existing infrastructure. We're very proud to be able to offer that ahead of our October 2027 launch. And for Paradise's citizens, there's a whole suite of benefits shown here on the screen. I'll give this slide a little bit more time. We did cover a lot of what is said here, but we want to make it clear that Pioneer wants to be thought of as a community partner first, providing customers with the first choice they've had in their power in 100 years. So that's the end of my time talking. Lisa is going to finish out the presentation for me.
Thank you. It's been a while since I've been here, but good evening, Mayor and Council. Wanted to present today to discuss what you can expect in the next 15 months from Pioneer Community Energy. During this time, we'll be helping to educate residents and market Pioneer in the local community. There are some risks, which we call challenges, and we're also prepared to mitigate those. We've had experience launching Nevada City and Grass Valley in January 2024. We're 10-member agency strong. We do know that some people will be skeptical. They don't know who Pioneer is, what are they, and who are they, and how does this affect my bill? How does this affect solar? So we really want to get in front of that. We really want to take the mystery out of the process and really answer any questions that we can, get a great public education campaign out there, taking in all of the considerations that we have. And we just really want you to know that we know that residents have a choice, and we want to be there and answer any questions and be available for you. This next slide is a phased approach on how we plan to really promote this public education and community outreach program out in the community. There are 5 phases to that, the first being the research and early outreach, which we've just concluded. We are members of the Paradise Ridge Chamber, and we plan to be very active in the community. And we want your input as to which civic groups we should be presenting at, which community events we should be partnering with, and we just basically want to help be a community partner. We wanted to provide this phased approach so that you see what planning is taking place. Our next phase 2 plan, July through December, is developing a paid media plan, briefing our board, briefing our new member agencies, because you will have an opportunity to have a member on our board of directors, and that is a great benefit being a part of our JPA. So you would appoint that person, and we would have a training for that person as well. Phase 3 is a pre-launch ramp-up with our early ads launch, Pioneer is Coming, which will eventually change to Pioneer is Here. We have a number of town halls, webinars, direct mail, social media, lots of direct mail flyers will be launched and really help to detail the process that your constituents can expect. We'll just be ramping up in January, and we'll conclude with a final countdown, July through September,
culminating with our launch in October 2027. So basically, we're just going to be launching and ramping up on a series of activities to increase awareness, answer questions, get a website going, working with you and staff to provide more information about Pioneer on your website, and really just helping however we can, preparing you and providing you with FAQs in case you're asked out in the community. If you have questions that you can't answer, feel free to reach out to us. We're here, we're a resource, and we want to be a part of the community. So to summarize, we wanted to keep this brief, not take too long, but to summarize, communications planning and community outreach play a critical role for a successful partnership with the Town of Paradise. We're going to be incorporating paid media, direct mail, town halls, marketing, civic group meetings, website, and earned media for a successful expansion. And just wanted to be here today. It's been a while, and we wanted to get in front and just let you know we're a resource for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And I've worked with Jennifer in the past, and we're accessible, and Colette's been great as your staff. Thank you.
I'm just curious that when this gets closer to launch, that the public understands that when we made this commitment, everybody in the town will be on this program unless you opt out.
Yes.
So people need to know that you need to, at the beginning of the program, you need to opt out. Otherwise, there's some other hocus pocus that goes on with PG&E and everything. If you wait, if you don't hit the deadline right, if you don't opt out of the program in the beginning, you have to jump through a lot of more hoops later on. And there's penalties and stuff.
There's no penalties.
Okay, well,
There's no...
from the first presentation, there's a bunch of stuff.
No penalties, and actually there'll be regulatory notices that we're required to send out 60 days, 30 days, and there's no fee.
Okay, I just want the public to know that they're going to have to opt out.
Correct.
If they don't want to be in this program.
That's part of the
We signed everybody up.
Correct. Part of the legislation is that everyone comes through. We purchase energy for the constituents, and it's a very simple process to opt out. It's basically call us or email, come onto our website.
On your phase 5, if you can go back one slide.
Oh, sure.
At the bottom there, it's NIM enrollment.
Yes.
What?
Net energy metering, so that's
Right,
our
I know what it
solar
is,
enrollment.
but-
So if you're an SB 1 or 2, or if you're net 1 or 2, you're going to stay the same. You're not going to lose anything
But
by
you have
being
to
a
enroll in
solar.
it, you're saying?
No,
Oh,
just
okay.
when you're automatically enrolled.
Okay.
And so if you have questions, we would encourage folks to call.
So that's
If they
not an
have-
action, that's just something that rolls into your program?
It rolls in.
Okay,
So,
okay, thank you.
thanks.
So I'm glad you're here, because I've been getting a lot of questions of what's going on, because, there hasn't been any communication between you and any of our citizens, or at least any that, I'm aware of. The other question I have is, I know that everybody will automatically go over to you, and if it doesn't work, there is a time frame. They can go back to PG&E, but if they miss that time frame, my understanding is they go back at a higher rate to PG&E.
That's not accurate. There's 60 days, 30 days, and then they can opt out at any time. And there's no.
But that's my question is when you opt out, my understanding, because I did ask PG&E, was that you don't necessarily go back at the same rate if you go back to PG&E.
That's not my understanding. You would be on the best rate for you as a constituent.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the question I had too. I've got solar panels, I'm on NEEM 2, and I'd heard, again, these are rumors, heard that if I go back to PG&E after being on you, I wouldn't be on NEEM 2, I'd be on NEEM 3 for a period of time before they reconcile that. So you're not hearing that at all?
That's not correct.
Okay, that's rumors I'm hearing.
Okay.
Okay.
That's.
We need to get ahead of all that. to tell people-
Exactly, and we have an FAQ. We definitely have other jurisdictions. Butte County has put together a webpage just to clarify some of the commonly asked questions, and I'm happy to work with staff on that as well, and so is Jake.
Okay.
So.
In Jake's portion of the presentation, it represented the estimated savings of $145 million for the 170,000 customers over the last 8 years, equating to approximately $106 a year in savings. Is that accurate?
I'm not sure what the $106.
Well, $106.61 to be specific. Jake,
Sounds
yes.
Pretty close, yeah.
Just making sure we're on point here.
Yeah. Thank you. And there are other benefits as well with our programs that we offer. An HVAC rebate program right now and other things, so thank you.
Any other questions?
Nope, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I was looking at you and you were...
Okay. 1H, campfire recovery updates. Written reports are included in the agenda pack. Colette Curtis, Recovery and Economic Development Director. Any questions for Colette? Okay. Mark Maddox, Assistant Town Manager, Infrastructure and Sewer Updates. Any questions for Mark? Okay. Item 1I, Paradise Sewer Project Update by Town Engineer Mark Maddox.
All right, good evening, Mayor Crowder. Good evening, Council. It's my pleasure to bring our monthly update on the Paradise Sewer Project. As you're fully aware, last month the town gave new direction on our revised project, and we are furthering our efforts to bring that to fruition. With that in mind, we have a hybrid collection system with gravity trunk lines as well as step connections as needed in our Phase 1 collection service area, with a revision to the way we treat the wastewater, being a membrane bioreactor facility with a surface water discharge permit. So with that, the main accomplishments over the last month, including field topographic surveys for our Phase 1 collection service area, an internal lateral connections workshop, really trying to understand what is the best way to roll out, especially when we build the Phase 1 version of the project, of how those lateral connections and establishing our customer base goes forward, and some options there. We are resuming our efforts in the subsequent environmental impact report, ongoing evaluation of potential wastewater treatment facility sites. That's still going to be a need for the MBR system. And then we started our coordination with the Central Valley Regional Water Quality Control Board about those treatment facility sites to be analyzed in the subsequent environmental impact report. Over the next month, we'll continue our analysis of those sites, our preliminary design of the collection system, resuming the design of the treatment facility under the revised project description, and again, continue the work on the EIR that is forecasted for release early next year. And so with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Questions for Mark? Cards?
Yes, I do have a few cards on this item. The first one is from Al McGran.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. It's a pleasure to see you here tonight. On this particular subject, as you recall, you've heard occasionally from myself and two other citizens, or caring citizens, I might add, that we've been looking at this rather in detail. And since your last council meeting, we did a deep dive of factual history of this entire project, believe it or not, since 1969 up to the present date. And we have compiled that factual information and have presently turned that into your town manager and for distribution to all the council members. Strongly encourage you just to, if you can find the time to read this information. It's factual, it's historical, and it's somewhat enlightening. And we're just providing you that as information only. We're not asking you to go one way or the other. It's just, I think you really need to have that understanding of what's been occurring historically over that span of time. It's rather fascinating, to say the least. And that's all I have to say tonight, but there's other members of this group that have a few things to share with you. So, thank you.
Thanks, Al.
Second card is Melissa Schuster.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
I know you've heard many of these points before, and some of you may even wonder why the three of us continue to come back meeting after meeting. The answer is simple. If we didn't genuinely believe this mattered, if we weren't convinced the town was about to make one of the most important infrastructure decisions in its history without fully considering all of the facts, we wouldn't keep asking for your time. None of us benefits personally from the outcome of this project. We aren't here because we're against a sewer system. In fact, we've said repeatedly that Paradise needs one. We're here because we believe Paradise deserves the right system, built for the town that exists today and the future that will unfold, not one built on assumptions that cannot yet be known. The document we've submitted isn't another opinion piece. It's the complete record of everything we've presented over the past year, assembled in one place. It demonstrates that the town itself, its own consultants, and even state regulators have all at different times recognized the value of a phased step system with local treatment and recycled water. Tonight, I'm simply asking you to do one thing. Please read it. Read it with the same care and thought that went into writing it. Ask yourselves whether a project of this magnitude deserves one final objective side-by-side comparison before Paradise commits to a path that will shape this community for generations. If we're wrong, the record will show it. But if we're right, Paradise deserves to know that before the concrete is poured. Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa.
Next card is Cliff Jacobson.
Good evening, Mayor and council members, Paradise resident. Before I get into my 3 minutes, I want to apologize to you and to the rest of the council at the last June 9th meeting. We're really passionate about what we believe in, and we got a little bit noisy and interrupted you in your concentration. I want to apologize for that. On June 9th, the council was told that a step system is a fatal flaw for Paradise, that our elevation creates pressure no effluent pump or pipe can handle. We checked that claim against the presenter's own slide. Their printed numbers prove they measured the drop from the top of the town all the way down to the proposed treatment plant location partway down the Skyway. But a pump only fights the head pressure from the highest to the lowest pump in the system. Everything past that flows downhill with gravity. Measured correctly, the pressure lands comfortably within one ordinary off-the-shelf step pump, nothing magical. So let me say it plainly. The fatal flaw was not in the step system. The fatal flaw was in the Corolla PowerPoint. Tonight I've distributed a large document to each of you. It's the complete record. 50 years of this town studies, the state's own direction, the consultant's own reports, and every citizen review assembled in order from the beginning. It carries 3 names: Melissa Schuster, who sat where you sit through the campfire; Al McGrean, who ran this town's planning department for a generation and now serves on the committee writing our next general plan; and me. It'll take time to read. It's not for tonight. Take it home, please. But I'm asking each of you, for all of our sakes, to actually read it before the project takes one more irreversible step. And one more thing, this record is now public and permanent. I hope it'll be read by you guys first, and I hope nobody else has to read it. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Cliff.
I have no more cards.
Okay. 1J, presentation on the criteria needed to submit a notice of completion acceptance of work performed for a typical capital improvement project. Mark?
All right. Good evening, Mayor Crowder, Council again. This item comes before you as a council member initiated item from Councilmember Lang a few months back, and it's my pleasure to bring forward a report about how typical infrastructure projects, especially road rehabilitation, reaches from construction to completion. And it couldn't be more timely as we're in the middle of our construction season with 2 contracts for 2 different funding sources in multiple locations throughout town. And being performed by 1 contractor affecting our 1 community. So with that, I'll go ahead and start. Again, the Capital Improvement Program is the document that we use to forecast and budget and implement and manage our funding sources to implement major construction projects. And so with this, we have a process for reaching that to a constructible state, and then we have a process for closing it out and accepting it as a community. So with that, it includes many administrative, financial, and regulatory tasks. It begins at the substantial completion phase, and its duration can vary from project size and complexity, as well as funding requirements. I'll take some time here to step aside for notes for large town-wide projects. Mobilizations in town occur often in trains. What I mean by that is that you'll see a certain contractor doing a certain type of work on one road, and then they'll keep moving on into different roads in town of that same type of work. For example, a pulverization operation. We've been doing a lot of pulverizing of our roads, which is a great opportunity to recycle the material that's in place, compact it, sometimes add cement, and then pave it. And then pave it again, because a lot of our roads are being paved in 2 lifts because that helps extend the longevity of our road and improve the quality. So you'll see a train come through your street, and that train will leave because it's going other places. We did 30 miles last year, 20 miles this year. And so, again, you'll see gaps where work is not occurring on your road, but it doesn't mean that the work is finished. If you're looking for critical updates on the project status, you can go to paradiseworks.com. We have an email list that goes out every single week with project status, so you can see right now Knife River isn't really working on the off-system roads in the neighborhoods. There's a gap between work, and then they're starting to ramp up and perform potholing on their on-system roads like Upper Skyway, which we're very excited about to bring to paving later this year, Upper Clark, Elliott, and Lower Pence. And so a lot of that's going to happen, but again, this is kind of the area where I wanted to flag that just because you don't see activity occurring on your road doesn't necessarily mean the work product is finished. So when it comes to completion, I have separated this out into multiple phases. The first one being substantial completion, where we recognize in partnership with the contractor that they have met the intent and the serviceability of the project. Doesn't mean that everything's done, but it's substantially complete from a reasonableness test, as well as the work product being applied and the town starting to receive some benefit. In that effort, we are always performing quality assurance and quality control tests, inspections. We are then at this stage conducting what's called a punch list. So if it's substantially complete, it doesn't mean that all of it's complete. There's going to be minor little things that occur here and there, but sometimes that list of punch list items can get pretty voluminous. So for example, a 2024 project, on the right, you can kind of see a couple of pictures where there might be some damaged sidewalk, or you might see some grading that didn't occur the right way that we wanted on tapering to a driveway. Those kind of constitute punch list items that we're going to enforce, that they need to be complete prior to complete closeout. That 2024 project at one point had 1,000 items that were on our punch list. And so rest and assured that the town and our staff and our teams managing these projects, their job is to make sure that we are getting everything that we paid for in these projects, and that we're not paying for it until it's complete, and we're not releasing retentions until all of the punch list items are complete, as well as all of the tests meeting our acceptance criteria. From there, looking at contract and payment closeout, we go ahead and prepare the final change orders, the final progress estimates. We'll execute a letter of acceptance. We'll go ahead and issue the final payment. We'll still hold that 5% retention, because that's actually something that's typically done at the council level when we final and accept a notice of completion. That starts the clock for that 35-day retention release period. This is the phase of work where we reconcile project costs and finalize our budgets. And then moving over to town acceptance, where we prepare and ask for you to adopt a notice of completion. We ask you to accept it. That notice of completion is filed with the clerk recorder's office at Butte County, and that's where our statutory claim period begins for subcontractors and others that have maybe some sort of claim that they use this as their notice, like the town is getting ready to pay out the final portion that's being withheld on this project. So if no claims are submitted and the completion has been adopted, we can go ahead and move forward with that final payment. With that comes final documentation. We obtain as-built plans and operations and maintenance manuals, warranty documentation. That 5% retention release is issued, as well as preparing the project file for the final records retention. Then finally, after that, begins our warranty period. All of our work requires a 1-year warranty and monitoring. That's been extremely helpful for us, and we've had great contractors that have honored their word on warranty work. The contractor continues their responsibility to repair defects attributable to faulty workmanship or defective materials, and again, ensures the project integrity and performance overall. So with that, just a brief overview today. CIP closeout is the final stage of our project life cycle, ensures everything that we are paying for is something that we get and it meets our criteria, and it again provides that structured process for accepting our projects. So I'd be glad to answer any questions the town might have.
Yeah, if a resident had a complaint about something like this, how would they bring that information to the town?
Yeah, so our website at paradisesewer.com has a lot of contact information. You can reach out to us there. Residents also are notified of in advance of the work area. Every single road gets a mailer, or we're hanging door hangers, providing that contact information. And so if you have an issue, say something didn't quite meet your expectations, or you had a question about the driveway taper, or want to know when the striping is coming back, to finish out that segment of work, feel free to give us a call, shoot us an email, come here at Town Hall. We'd be glad to serve you and answer those questions.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions?
I just wanted to thank you for clarifying that, because I know we've had a lot of community input, and so I think it's important for the community to understand how it happens behind the scenes. It's not just, signing of the check and closing the door, and that there are opportunities with like the warranty for 1 year. Specifically here, I think with our drainage problems that we might not notice in the summer when they complete them.
Yep.
But, then the next season, they're a little bit more obvious. So thank you for going into detail.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any more questions for Mark? Cards? Thank you, Mark. Okay, before we get into the consent calendar, we're going to remove item 2I from the consent calendar, and it will return on the consent calendar at the special July 29th council meeting. So, minus 2I, do I hear a motion?
I move approval of the consent calendar less 2I.
I'll second.
Motion by Bolin, seconded by Lasan. Councilmember Bolin?
Aye.
Councilmember Colleton?
Aye.
Councilmember Lang?
Aye.
Councilmember Lasan?
Aye.
And Mayor Crowder?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. Item 4, public communication. For matters that are not on the council business agenda, speakers are allowed 3 minutes to address the council. Cards, Melanie.
Yes, I have a few cards. First one is Autumn Field.
It's been a while since I've been here. Okay. Good evening, Council and Mayor Crowder. My name is Autumn Field, and I'm a Paradise resident. I'm here tonight because I believe our community deserves transparency, accountability, and a government that earns the trust of the people that it serves. The findings regarding the grand jury report and the building department investigations are deeply concerning. This is not simply about a document being released or not released in regards to the audit findings. It's about whether the public can trust that the concerns brought forward by citizens are taken seriously and handled openly. Many residents have raised concerns regarding the building department, including questions about the inconsistent inspections, permitting practices, and situations involving properties connected to LLCs and unclear ownership or accountability. These concerns were also brought into the grand jury report that you guys haven't decided to talk about tonight. These concerns are not just paperwork issues, they affect people's homes, investments, safety, and confidence in the rebuilding of our community. Paradise has been through an unimaginable loss and rebuilding process. After the campfire, residents were asked to trust local government to help guide recovery and protect the future of this town, but that trust is no longer automatic. It must be maintained through transparency, ethical decision-making, and a willingness to address problems when they're identified. When investigations occur, when grand jury findings are made, and when residents ask legitimate questions, the responses should not be defensiveness or secrecy. The response should be openness and a commitment to correcting what's not working. I'm asking the council to do more than react to public frustration in regards to this, not this evening's frustration, but frustration in the past that led to the audit. So let's not act as if there hasn't been frustration just because people aren't here tonight besides me talking about this. We have a right to know, and I'm asking you to do more than react to that frustration. I'm asking you to demonstrate leadership by releasing the information that we have the right to know and taking continuing, meaningful steps to restore confidence in the building department and in the town's decision-making processes. Accountability is not an attack on our town. Accountability is how we protect our town. Many of us want Paradise to succeed, and we want it to be done correctly. We want our local government to be something that we can stand behind and be proud of, but that requires honesty, transparency, and the courage to address difficult issues. Thank you for your time.
The next card is Mike Pollock. No? Sounds like he stepped out. Next card is Leslie Sawyer.
Well, now I want to read that report because we've also had issues with the building department, but I'm not here for that today. Today, I am here to say thank you to council and to Jennifer. Thank you, First Heidi, for your work on making local governance not only digestible to the community, but encouraging involvement. I like that. I appreciate that. Keep doing that. Jennifer, thank you for the business roundtable that you had. It was nice to just have a platform where people can come and discuss. Thank you to the council members who were there and part of it. I hope there's more of that, and I hope that the people that are involved in the community start showing up to that kind of stuff, because I think it was very beneficial. Lastly, as a legislative update, AB 2700 has moved forward. It's been completely unanimous all the way across the board. It's in its final stages, which is appropriations and then the floor vote. And I think that it would be really nice. There was a huge showing of support from local community members there at the last committee hearing, but I think it would be great if anybody from the council or the town wanted to come and show their appreciation, not only for the bill itself that Gallagher put together, but also for Joe Patterson. That same day that it goes to appropriations, a group of us will be going to his office with a thank you to his staff and to him, thanking him for stepping in as our assemblyman. Because our assemblyman has moved on to Congress, which is great, and we need that representation. It's been lacking. Joe Patterson has kind of stepped in and filled that void so that we still have representation. I think it would be nice to go in there with a thank you or even a note from the town, hey, we appreciate you stepping in. We're not your jurisdiction, but you did. I, for about a year in Shasta County, have joked with Joe every time I go down there, hey, I don't feel represented by my assembly person, so you're mine because you listened to me. And now here in Butte County, he is actually the one representing us. So I think that that would be really nice because he's who's kind of taking that on. Gallagher did set us up for success before he left, but Joe's the one kind of walking the rest of that out. So I just thought, and I would like to invite any of you who want to go with me. I'll send the details to Jennifer and Heidi if anybody wants to go. Thank you.
I have no other cards.
Okay. So 6A, consider concurring with the project CEQA determination finding presented and considered by the Planning Commission. And Susan.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm Susan Hartman, Director of Planning and Wastewater, here to do the introduction for this next agenda item, which is really the first actionable item by the Town Council for the 2045 General Plan Update, and that is the vision statement and guiding principles. The vision statement is how the community would like to see Paradise in the year 2045, and the guiding principles, or you can think of them as goals, are the ideals that are most important to the community. In the 1994 general plan, there were 15 goals. In the proposed 2045 general plan, there's 10 guiding principles. And it's not that we have less goals for the future, it's that we've taken the opportunity, taken the feedback, and we've grouped together common themes. So when you look at the proposed guiding principles, you'll see they have essentially one-word headings. So an example would be, now we're proposing a guiding principle of housing. And then it talks about providing housing of all types, all affordability levels, and goes on to some other really generic housing goals. And you can understand, because we're starting so far from scratch again to build, we need to be wide open about this, where previously we had very specific goals about, we want to implement our affordable housing allocations from the state. We want to make sure, that's one goal. Another was about making sure there was zoning for all types of housing densities. Another one about, I have it right here, managing growth to ensure an orderly and well-planned community, all having to do with housing. So let's group that together in a theme. So that's the big difference between the two, and why you see less guiding principles than we had goals previously. They're just broader this time around. So there's still a really strong connection between the 1994 general plan and the 2045. And that was regarding preserving Paradise's small town character, protecting natural resources, economic vitality, maintaining infrastructure, and that's not just roads, that's also bicycle and pedestrian facilities, that's water, wastewater, stormwater, other utilities, all infrastructure, whereas before you would see those as listed as separate goals. Plus revitalization of the downtown and housing. So there was still so many carryover themes from the early one, which we expected. Those guiding principles and the vision were put together through input from the community. So how did we do outreach to the community? Not only did we do paper, posters here at Town Hall, here at the, and at the Brick, as well as our social media, but our cooperator agencies helped us publicize opportunities for the public to engage with us. Parks and Rec, School District, the Chamber of Commerce, Rebuild Paradise, all help advertise these avenues for folks. We also did a news interview with KHSL, and then we did 2 big email blasts. The Chamber was gracious enough to do one to their membership, and then through the Brick, we did one, and our database alone has 2,000 contacts. So even though we reached thousands of people, at the end of the day, we had 189 responses between all of the opportunities to engage. Would we like more? We'd love more. Is this more than we had in previous general plan update efforts? Absolutely. When we did the safety element, 2 housing elements before, we didn't hit these kind of numbers for engagement, but we love so much more. So do know that we are trying different ways to reach the community. If this only got us 189 in this next phase we're moving to, this time we reached out to churches, service groups, fraternal organizations, looking for other ways to get community involvement. But even with only 189 respondents, there is nothing so far out of line with this vision or these guiding principles that it doesn't warrant merit or consideration tonight. So we're still presenting these, and at the end, the council will be asked to make a resolution of approval for just the vision statement and the guiding principles. And so our consultant, Tanya Sundberg with Placework, she's going to give you a short presentation about this. Thank you. All right, Tanya, it is yours.
Great. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So yeah, my name is Tanya Sundberg, and I'm a principal with Placeworks. And we are a consulting firm that the town hired to help assist with the Paradise 2045 effort. Should I share my screen with the presentation, or are you able to see it still from the council chambers?
Yes, share your screen, we see you.
Okay.
Oh, we
Okay.
did.
Great. Give me just one moment, and I'll get there. Okay. Okay. Are you able to see the presentation now?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Great. Okay. Thank you for confirming. Okay, so for this presentation, I'm going to start with an overview of the Paradise 2045 project. Then I'll give just a really brief overview of the envisioning engagement work we did that Director Hartman also just summarized. Then I'll present the draft vision and guiding principles and conclude with the next steps. So starting with the project overview, there are three main components to this project. It includes comprehensive updates to both the Paradise General Plan and the town zoning ordinance. It also includes environmental review of those two updates that's required by state law through preparation of a document called the Environmental Impact Report, or EIR. So I have a slide on each of these just to give context for everybody who's listening, even if you're already familiar with these. Want to make sure that all the folks listening know what we're doing here. So starting with the general plan. The general plan is a long-term plan for Paradise. As part of this update, we're looking out to the year 2045, and that's why we call the project name Paradise 2045. And this general plan guides the town's decisions on a variety of topics. And it's often referred to as a constitution for a jurisdiction kind of guiding land use and development. And it's called that because it provides very overarching framework for a lot of more detailed regulations, guidelines, and other plans that affect how development can happen. So typically a general plan will first lay out a community identified vision for the future, and then it will present goals, policies, and actions that support the jurisdiction in achieving that vision. It is important for the general plan to provide consistent direction so everybody has some certainty about the future of the community. And also because the general plan addresses a lot of different topics, the update process really requires some careful thinking and community input and direction so that we balance growth and conservation and quality of life in a way that supports the community's vision. And overall, the general plan guides fair and consistent decision-making by making it clear exactly how the town will make decisions over the next 20 years in support of what the community wants for its future. And the general plan provides that guidance mainly through these written goals, policies, and actions that you see in making up the bulk of the document. But there's also important maps like the one you see here on this slide that specifies what kinds of land uses can be developed on each parcel within the town. So moving on to the zoning ordinance, this is a set of regulations that provide more detailed guidance than the general plan for development and how it can happen. So it establishes zoning districts that specify what kinds of land uses are permitted or conditionally permitted with a permit. And then it sets development standards like setbacks and parking requirements that provide more detailed regulations on how those land uses can be developed. And then there's also the zoning map. You can see a section of the town's zoning map here on this slide, and it displays where each zoning district applies. So that map implements the general plan land use map that I just showed you, and they are required to be consistent. And then our last component is the Environmental Impact Report, or EIR. So again, this is required by state law. And in this document, we'll disclose the potential impacts on the physical environment that could result from adoption and implementation of the general plan and zoning ordinance. The EIR will also identify mitigation measures to reduce any significant impacts that are found, and also describe project alternatives to reduce identified environmental impacts. So you can see our overall project schedule on this slide. We kicked off the project last September, and we anticipate completing the project within 3 years. So that means we'll be looking at adoption in the fall of 2028. We started the project last fall by first documenting the existing conditions in Paradise. And we did that so we all have a shared understanding of how things are today, and kind of setting the starting point for the new general plan. We're now wrapping up the visioning phase at tonight's meeting. In this phase, we presented the results of our existing conditions analysis to the community, and we asked folks to think about what they want Paradise to be like in the year 2045. We asked what should change from how things are today, or what should stay the same. And so that engagement helped us to prepare the draft vision statement and guiding principles that we're discussing tonight. And again, that will serve as a foundation for the general plan and what it's trying to achieve. So similar to how the existing conditions analysis really set the starting point for the new general plan, the vision and guiding principles set our goals for the end point of the general plan. So as we wrap up this visioning phase, we're also concurrently transitioning into our next step, which is to prepare future land use scenarios consider for the new general plan land use map, along with policy options for key community issues. And once we get through that, once we identify those land use scenarios and policy options, we'll then evaluate the benefits and impacts of those scenarios, and then we'll be working with you and the community again to select a preferred land use scenario and preferred policy approaches. And that work we anticipate will be wrapping up in the summer of next year. At that point, we'll be ready to prepare the draft general plan, and that should be ready for public review in fall 2027. For the zoning ordinance, that work is already underway, and we'll continue to coordinate our upcoming work on the land use map, will be especially relevant for the zoning work, so that will continue throughout the process. And once we have the framework for the general plan and zoning ordinance in place, we'll then begin the environmental analysis. That work go all the way through to the end of the process and adoption. And again, we anticipate that happening in fall 2028. I do want to highlight that we're engaging the community during each major phase in the process. So for each phase, we are hosting what we call a community event set. This is a set of events that includes a community survey. We also are setting up tables or booths at places like the grocery store, or events like Party in the Park, and then also holding more formal workshops or open houses with the community. The town's also consulting with tribal governments. We'll also be holding some focus group meetings on the zoning ordinance update, and we'll continue to have regular check-ins like tonight's meeting with the town council and planning commission. We also have a technical advisory committee for this process. They review draft documents and products and helps to guide the process. And we have set up a project website, paradise2045.com, to keep everybody informed. So moving into the summary of our engagement, our first round of engagement. So this was an event set that ran from mid-March to mid-April. We conducted a survey. We held pop-up tables at Save Mart and Billy Park, and we hosted a community workshop in the council chambers. So the activities and survey findings are detailed in an event summary, and I know Director Hartman also just gave a great summary as well. So we took those community insights that we gathered from the event set, and then we coupled that with our existing conditions analysis to prepare the draft vision statement and guiding principles. And again, these are to serve as a foundation and guide for the rest of the project. The vision statement and guiding principles were also informed by the long-term recovery plan vision, regenerating Paradise vision, and the 1994 general plan central goals. So this vision statement you see on the slide memorializes what the community would like for the town at the horizon or endpoint of the general plan. And it establishes at a high level what the policies and actions that we prepare next will be working to achieve. So it reads, in 2045, Paradise is a charming mountain town where forested landscapes, local shops, neighborhood gathering places, and a strong sense of community shape everyday life. The town has rebuilt thoughtfully, honoring its history, while investing in safer, more resilient future that supports thriving businesses, families, and community life. Residents of all ages enjoy opportunities for recreation, education, and community connection, along with access to the services and amenities needed to lead healthy and fulfilling lives. As ever, Paradise is a community where people can build lasting roots across generations. So that vision statement is supported by these guiding principles. They're not spelled out here on the slide. You can see them in the staff report. But they basically state how the vision will be achieved, kind of breaking it into topical statements. So those guiding principles address the need to preserve Paradise's unique small town identity and sense of community, the need to protect natural resources while enhancing wildfire safety and environmental resilience, supporting a strong local economy with thriving businesses and local quality jobs. Providing reliable infrastructure that meets current and future community needs, promoting access to healthcare, wellness services, other essential services, strengthening community resilience through hazard preparedness and recovery planning, fostering a vibrant downtown as a welcoming center for the community, enhancing community life through recreation programs and opportunities for connection, supporting diverse housing options that maintain Paradise's character and livability, and ensuring transparent, inclusive governance that reflects community priorities. So I'll wrap up here with just a quick look at next steps and upcoming milestones. We recently began our second community engagement set of events. This is focused on land use and policy changes. We officially started on July 6th, and that engagement period will continue through August 2nd. So that started on July 6th with a new survey that we made available on the project. And we've also been distributing that survey in hard copy, including at events last week. We had team members at the party in the park last week and the Veterans Hall bingo night, where we distributed some paper surveys and directed people to the online survey, and also advertised our upcoming community workshop, which is happening later this week on Thursday, July 16th. This workshop will be in a virtual format, and it will cover really similar questions that the survey covers, just to try to broaden our reach. So that's all happening right now. Looking a little further ahead, our next planned check-in with the options to you, both you and the planning commission. Those options will be based on what we're learning from the community during this current set of events. And then after the planning commission town council confirm those options are the right ones to be considering this fall, we'll then proceed with an evaluation of those options to support our next set of community conversations, which will be about selecting the preferred options for the general plan. So please keep tabs on our website, paradise2045.com, to stay up to speed on the project. This concludes my presentation, and thank you very much for listening.
Mark did it.
All right. Great. We had some echoing issues. Thank you, Tanya. In your staff report is resolution number 2026-43. The ask of the council tonight, after you've had conversation and taken any public feedback, is to approve the vision statement and the guiding principles as presented to you tonight. I did want to just make a clarifying statement. If you'll recall, every March, the council takes a look at an implementation report that we turn into HCD about the general plan and about the housing element. That is not what this is. Those are policies and implementations that we haven't developed yet for the new general plan. We just have to set the goalpost first so we know where to aim with those. So I just wanted to clarify, this is not policy yet. These are just the broad goals. And if you had any questions for myself or for Tanya, happy to answer.
When you rolled out that vision and those principles and all that, what was the feedback from the people that you passed it out to? Do they jump up and down and say, I love it, or do they say, it's okay? What was their feeling? I just want to...
The feedback that I personally received had nothing to do with the vision or the guiding principles. It was about other off-topic items.
Well, I'll give you some feedback. I looked at it and I thought, this is our town in 2045. I really like the vision and the small town character that you listed in the guiding principles. We don't want to be a huge, metropolis. I moved up here to get away from the Bay Area. I don't want to see that back here. Okay. So I really like what you put down on paper. So I want to give you that as feedback.
Thank you.
I'm not too sure about this statement, naturally. The first line, a charming mountain town where forested landscapes. Even in 2045, the fire burnt down the forested landscape, and we have now building codes and regulations that restrict planting forested landscapes, for fire safety. So I just want, just that one forested landscapes, I don't know, other than that, it's got some good stuff in it, but that's the only thing that kind of, where's that at? Other than around the cemetery.
There, and also keeping in mind just the surrounding unincorporated areas that we can see as well. If that is a word that the majority of the council does not favor and would prefer to replace it with something like natural landscapes, we can do that too. Absolutely.
Then they could be forested or not. Because that brings a picture of.
Yeah, it does.
You are absolutely, when you read through the comments for the first survey, you'll see so many comments about replanting trees, I'm sure.
I saw that.
You saw it, yes.
I went, wait a minute, that's what got us in trouble last time.
But I hear that, Woody.
Thank you, Susan, for everybody's work on this. Trying to think of a nice way to say this to the general public, because my criticism is absolutely not of the town and its efforts in this case. But, and I should probably thank the 189 people that took the time to participate in shaping our future. But where are the rest of you? And I'm not just talking to you in the audience and everybody online, but for every comment I see on social media, however valid or invalid, I'm not judging what those comments are, but where are you? Susan went over in this presentation, as did Tanya, their efforts to get out and hear from the community what you want to see in 2045 and beyond. This is kind of a one-time opportunity. This is a redo. We have a lot of resources at our fingertips right now, and I cannot emphasize enough, this is the opportunity. They're doing paper copies, they're doing digital surveys, a virtual workshop, a workshop here, going to the grocery store and to the park.
And the Vets Hall.
And the Vets Hall, bingo night. Of all of the things I can be critical of from the town, their efforts to reach everybody and their opinions and ideas and recommendations is not one of them. So step up, be a part of our future. Let's try to focus and do better and not complain, but contribute to shaping our future in a constructive way. Thank you.
I just want to see 2045. I hope I'm here then. It sounds pretty cool. I think that would be neat.
I don't think I'll be here.
Are we placing
Any
bets
other,
on everybody, or?
any cards, Melanie?
I have no cards on this item.
I move, did you guys want to change that one word? To me, in my mind, it's still forested, but it's, I know it's,
Lightly forested.
well, yeah. Responsibly forested. But
And
you
it
know
did,
what, I don't
and it did sound like Carrie Max may have had a comment.
Sorry, didn't have a card.
Howdy. Thank you, 189 people. I went to Party in the Park. I've never known about how to do this. I do those fun things, but I have not heard of this or known how to play. And so I'm just saying maybe delivery or maybe how you're, okay. And so maybe we could just, do we get to talk about, any, or do we do our input anymore? Is it too late to do that? Thank you very much. And then I'm even thinking that first sentence could say surrounded by beautiful forestry. Thanks, sorry.
So are we leaving the wording the same? We changing it? What?
I'm okay with it. I move we accept the vision and guiding principles.
I'll second.
Motion by Bowen, seconded by Slan. Councilmember Bowen.
Aye.
Councilmember Colleton.
Aye.
Councilmember Lang.
Aye.
Councilmember Lasson.
Aye.
And Mayor Crutter.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
Susan, and for your team.
Six B, consider the Rebuild Paradise Foundation's request for approval of addendum number 1 to the Hope Plaza license agreement. Mark.
Good evening again, Mayor Crowder and Council. It's my pleasure to bring forward an item that was brought to the town in relation to an existing license agreement between the Town of Paradise and Rebuild Paradise Foundation. For some background, in October of 22nd of 2019, the Town Council authorized the Town Manager to enter into a license agreement that would govern the use of the town's property for Hope Plaza. That agreement was later executed in August of 2021. And as you all can see, the beautiful work is complete and Rebuild Paradise is winding down their operations. So with that, tonight in your agenda packet is an outline of recommended adjustments to the agreement. I'll quickly summarize them here, and then I'll also note that representatives from Rebuild Paradise Foundation are here this evening in the audience, available for any questions if needed. But first, the completion and acceptance of the memorial. With the closing of Rebuild Paradise, this addendum would satisfy all essential obligations of Rebuild Paradise as it relates to Hope Plaza and transfer ownership and maintenance and responsibility to the town with some key modifications. Originally, the agreement called for a $25,000 commitment to a maintenance fund, an ongoing maintenance fund, and as you'll see in the agenda packet, Rebuild Paradise has indicated they plan to increase their contribution, or the Hope Plaza Committee has increased their contribution to $30,000, and Rebuild Paradise has committed to an additional $20,000, bringing the total to $50,000. Right now, there's a current requirement for insurance and ongoing management of warranty and claims. The agreement makes modifications to that language. Hold harmless and release also being modified again to be more in the town's, or actually entirely in the town's responsibility. When it comes to the financial impacts of potentially approving this maintenance agreement, we have went ahead and costed kind of a conservatively worst case scenario of what it would be to maintain the Hope Plaza with contract services and lighting and lighting and water services as well. So at that estimate of about $6,200 a year, that $50,000 would essentially last 7 years. And that wouldn't include major repairs. If something big came up like vandalism or something that we're not anticipating, that would also need to come from those funds. And so with that, the agreement's here before you. I'm glad to answer any questions that the council might have on this item.
First, I want to thank you both for your work on that foundation. You guys did an incredible job. Thank you for that. Do you see anything with that piece and with what was done as an ongoing big maintenance issue?
in my,
Yeah, if we were, if we knew we were going to be taking this over, you've done something different, is there something that you see as a big issue in that?
no, I would say, you know, landscaping, keeping the trees alive, watering them, lighting, it's pretty streamlined. I think the evolution of the project, I mean, we can all recognize that projects from when they're originally envisioned to the way they end up can be two different things. And Hope Plaza is no different, with no, you know, water feature, and a reduced scope, and really a wonderful space to reflect and honor those that were lost. That is pretty, you know, as simple as it gets, in my opinion. But again, we need to keep those plants healthy. We need to be responsive, care for them, make sure that it grows to be a community feature that we're all still proud of many, many years from now.
And I would ask, if we vote to take this on, which I'm sure we will be, but I would ask that when we do that, we don't let this thing go downhill. We keep it up, we keep it looking nice. This is a reflection on us, our town, and this is a tribute to the people that helped us and the people that passed away in that fire. We need to make sure that thing is kept up, and so I hope that's something we can continue over the years. So I think that's important.
Does the town maintain other properties like this? You have the skill sets to manage that? I mean, you guys do great jobs on roads, I get that, and
Yep.
sewers and whatnot, you're working on it, but how about, you know, landscaping and planting? If I look out at the front of the town hall, I don't see the same kind of landscaping as I see at Hope Plaza.
Yeah, so we have an amazing public works team, and we have a beautiful community park. We have support through contract services to maintain the landscaping in the park. At one point, we did all of that work ourselves, but with growing scope, and that's one way is that we're trying to help, again, you know, achieve the objectives of a beautiful park 100% of the time. And so with that, we've been able to use Green Ridge to help us do that. And so that's an option for Hope Plaza. We could add as part of our overall facility maintenance program, including Town Hall, PD, the brick. There's all kind of minor shrubs, landscaping to maintain, and this could fold right into that as well.
And the little thing on Neal and Skyway.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
The gateway entrance at Neal and Skyway at the trail.
Yeah,
Thank you.
welcome to Paradise, which was originally designed to have a water feature. Chuck Rowe wanted a water feature there. It didn't happen. I agree with you, Greg. I think that it's just, we have other buildings. Anything we own, we have to take care of.
Yes.
And we put it in our budget. So once the $50,000 is spent, we'll just have to, that'll have to become a budget item. I would suggest that we might send a request to PG&E to make a very large donation for the longevity of that
Great
park.
idea.
You know?
I like that.
I think they owe us. Need a motion?
I do.
We don't have any cards?
I have one card on this item. Melissa Schuster.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. Tonight, I ask you to approve the amendment to the Hope Plaza agreement. For the past 7.5 years, Hope Plaza has been a true labor of love. Thousands of volunteer hours were invested, countless meetings were held, private donors stepped forward, professionals donated their expertise, community members gave generously of their time, their talents, and their treasure. Through all of that, not one penny of taxpayer money was used to plan, design, or build Hope Plaza. That is extraordinary. Hope Plaza exists because people believed Paradise deserved a place to remember where we've been, celebrate how far we've come, and inspire hope for the future. It stands as a testament to what a community can accomplish when people come together around a shared vision. The Rebuild Paradise Foundation was created to help Paradise recover. It has fulfilled that mission with integrity, compassion, and unwavering commitment. As the foundation prepares to sunset, it isn't walking away. It is making one final gift to this community by ensuring Hope Plaza is transferred to the town with funding dedicated to its future care. From the very beginning, the intention was always for Hope Plaza to become the town's responsibility. This amendment doesn't change that vision, it simply completes it. Yes, there will be maintenance. Every valued public space requires stewardship. But before us is a community asset that was built entirely through private generosity and volunteer effort, then entrusted to the town along with funding to help preserve it. I can think of few better examples of a successful partnership between a community and its local government. Tonight, you have the opportunity to accept not just an agreement, but a legacy. A legacy built by hundreds of people who simply wanted to leave Paradise better than they found it. Some gifts are measured in dollars, others are measured in what they make possible. Hope Plaza is one of those gifts. I respectfully ask for your approval. And finally, to the Rebuild Paradise Foundation, the Hope Plaza Committee, every donor, every volunteer, every contractor, and everyone who believed in this vision, thank you. Paradise is better because of you. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Melissa, for your time and effort in that Hope Plaza. You spent a lot of hours there. And
Before you take it back over, I want to come get my garden hoses if are still there.
Sorry.
I move approval.
Second.
Motion by Lasson, seconded by Colleton. Councilmember Boland.
Aye.
Councilmember Colleton.
Aye.
Councilmember Lang.
Aye.
Councilmember Lasson.
Aye.
And Mayor Crowder. Motion passes.
Yeah. Item 6C, consider adopting the following resolutions. Resolution 2026-44, 45, 46, 47, 48, and 49.
50. I believe there's a 50 as well.
There is not.
No, okay, close enough. All right. So, Council, Amy Ballou, your Finance Director, I am happy to present to you the adoption of our operating and capital budget, should you approve it tonight. I just want to say that as an employee here, but also a resident, this is, what we do every day. This is our jam. This is all of your departments working tirelessly to do all the things that you see every day and every night. And this is not a silo project. This is everybody coming together, spitballing what we think is going to happen, telling the future, and getting up to the general plan of 2045. All of these things pour into this document. And so I hope that you are able to go through it, understand it, digest it, and know where we're going. Because I like to say, when we nerd out, the money tells us where we're going and what we're doing and where our priorities are. So for our agenda, we have an introduction, we have a timeline. We're going to have our general fund summary. We're going to go with the big overview of the big picture. We'll have questions from the council and review the resolutions. So as an introduction, every year we collaborate to make this a whole project, and we have a solid foundation for a full year of anticipated revenues and expenses for the town of Paradise. It's important to understand that budgets are an anticipation of what's to come for an entire year. A budget is only as good as the assumptions that are known at that point in time, and a budget can quickly change based upon unanticipated occurrences that can take place throughout the year. Our goal is to always keep recovery and financial stability as our number one priority. And so the park is another thing that will be in the budget in the years forward. So that is, as we get the money, we distribute it, it will be in the budget.
Thank you. Just as a reminder, we do have several financial management tools that have been brought to the council and the community moving forward. We did a financial health report and operational overview in June, which provided the point in time of where the town of Paradise is at that date. And then certainly our annual budget looks forward to the next year in terms of what our plan is for expenditures and anticipated revenues. And then as a reminder, we have our fiscal sustainability model, which analyzes where we believe we may be headed in the future in terms of utilization of our pro fund. So again, lots of tools available to the council and to the public as we've been looking forward to creating this budget. This is just a few of the highlights from the Financial Health and Organizational Impact Report. This is the second time, or actually the third time we've talked about this, so I won't go into this in detail, but this does show progress that the town has made. We are rebuilding. We are investing in recovery. We are preserving sustainability, and we are doing so with limited financial resources.
So a lot of these things are just a review of what we've already talked about. We're conservative about property tax projections based on prior year. Staff allocation is budgeted under normal operating distribution. So we allocate their positions into the budget like we didn't have all these grants. As we utilize the grants, we distribute it out on real time. So you will see some overestimations in the general fund, but then it will trickle into the other one. So in the whole circle, there will be cost savings to our general fund. Again, the big picture, all fund spending, we're looking at $131 million. And, you know, for the population that Department of Finance says we have or more, that's a pretty good budget for the population that we have. What's our general fund? 26.5. So that's where we're trending on. And then where are our funding sources from? Well, we have grants, which are substantial. We're looking at $105 million of that 131. So the grants are 105. The Pro Fund is doing an injection of $15.1 million, and that's where we get the total of $131 million. So this is actually out front, so. General fund expenditure drivers. So again, this is reviewed, 10% overall increase primarily due to unfunded liability, the pre-approved COLAs of the 4%, the employee insurance rate of 80/20 that was pre-approved, insurance that, you know, that just goes up and we work through it, fire contractual annual costs, and new positions such as the PD sergeant, a coordinator, and the prior approved fire inspector. Also workman's comp. So as a whole, when we're looking at our general fund revenues, we are having a steady progress. Proposed budget, again, is going to be conservative at 10.9. That's just for some of the other revenues that are going in. And then the pro transfer, we're looking at 15.1. And that's how we're getting our revenues for the general fund. And then the total expenditures are 26 million. So the 25-26 estimated actuals at this point, when we're looking at overall revenues for the year, this has actually hit the books. We're looking at 10.6 million. And to make us whole at this point, we have to do closing. There's going to be some shuffling into the other funds in order to true up at the end of the year. But our expenditures for 25-26 is 21 million. Now you're going, Amy Ballou, we were talking like 14 million a few months ago, last year when we were trying to crystal ball what our amount was going to be. So just to refresh, what we thought the pro transfer was going to be is approximately 14 million. We're coming in at a little over 10, well, a little under 11 based off how it closes. So that's pretty good savings. So that tells you how the wages, how the expenditures that didn't come to fruition come into play in our budget. So when we look at that 10 million or 11 million at this point, and our actual revenues from our investments, which are hitting over 5, it's not as significant. It's significant, but it's not like the sticker shock of 14 million. So we have to take this with a grain of salt. Things are happening, but on the back end, we're working really hard to be good stewards to our town.
How long does it take to close? For the quarter?
For the quarter?
Does it take another quarter to close out?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so our audits usually due by the end of December, being that
Right.
everything is on time. We try to hit closing September, October to finalize.
Okay, thank you.
So general fund reserves, 24-25 actual, estimated actual based on unaudited actuals. We're looking at an ending balance of 201 million. 25-26, these are estimated, 195 million. If we utilize the full 15 million like we are estimating here, we would be at 186 million in 26-27. general fund revenues. This is an allocation, again, from our prior presentation of what it would look like with the pro transfers and how that stacks upon our tax revenues and other revenues. So you can see the PG is pro funds and the light blue is actual revenues. Measure V, again, some of the things that we can be proud of coming up. It represents a 10-year continuation of the half cent. We're using these funds to backfill things such as PD, Public Works, fire contracts, Animal Control Center. These are not, we're not putting bodies in these funds. What we're putting are the things that we need to be successful in maintaining services for our citizens in the town. So projected ending fund balance as of June of 27 would be $857,000. And this was the push-in that we did with the new fire engine that we used to purchase with Measure V funds. So for our budget, we presented to the Finance Committee on June 17th of 26. Our preliminary budget presentation to council was June 24th, where you saw all of the departments come up and discuss their department budgets. We do have some updates, and those have to do with a position control title. No funding was changed with that. It was just a manager position that should have been called a Public Works 1 position. So it was just a typo. And then also the org chart update, there was some added items that we needed to get in. Dollar-wise, we added $10,600 for the clerk's office, which we discussed at the last meeting. So now it's your turn. Final adoption is today. And once we adopt our budget, the timeline for what we're looking at is closure of 25-26, September, October timeframe. November is interim financials. If there are any updates that we need, we'll be presenting those. As well as in January, we're going to start January, February for our budget development. So this is a multi-month process to get to the point where we are now. Also, interim financials, budget adoption, or budget and position control updates will go in 27. Our plan is to also bring items early like we did last time. I feel like that worked well for everyone, so that's also part of the plan for implementation, as well as quarterly or monthly reporting on the stands of our general fund. So what we're asking tonight is the approval of the resolutions for adopting the final budget, approving the annual appropriations limit, amending general fund reserves, adopting the capital improvement plan, approving new job classifications, and adopting the amended salary pay plan.
So
Is there
that
any?
doesn't line up with what we have here.
Are you talking about the resolution numbers?
Resolution numbers.
Yes, because we pulled the item off of consent, so the numbers got moved down.
Oh.
So it starts from 44 and her numbers go through 49.
Oh,
Can-
okay.
Will you go back to that one slide about, that had Measure V on it? There, that one. So that, it says, funds are used to preserve public services such as police, fire, street maintenance, animal control, and other services. What is that?
So far, those,
Other services for the town.
currently we don't have any other services. We have PD, fire, animal control, public works.
Yeah, oh, those are listed.
Yes.
It says police, fire suppression, street maintenance, animal control, and other services.
There are no other services at this time that you. We
Yeah.
could strike that from the verbiage
Okay,
if you
I
would
just
prefer.
wanted, just because that was our promise years ago, and it still is our promise, and that's, okay.
Understood.
I just
If I
wanted to make
may-
sure that you all understood that.
If I may interrupt, if I am correct, that is the actual verbiage that was on Measure V, is that correct?
It was
Thank
on
you.
the what?
On the, when it was adopted.
Sorry, Amy. Yes, so when this was adopted, this was a general tax, which means it cannot be specified for very specific purposes. However, for our purposes, we did want to be very clear on what council was going to direct those funds to go towards. So the ballot language actually states those items, but it has to say and other services.
It has to?
It does, to
Because
be a
when we did
general
Measure
tax.
C, I don't think we had that one.
We did.
Yeah,
So
we did.
Measure
Measure
C
C?
and Measure V
We
was a
did?
general tax.
We had
Yep.
to be, we had to be general.
No,
very
because
general.
we were, yeah, because of the general
There was
tax.
a
It's a
balance
different
in that.
type of ballot measure,
Okay.
and so that is the
Okay.
actual ballot
But
language.
we all understand that it's for.
Yes,
those
and that is what
specific-
the committee is for as well. The Measure V committee is to ensure that the
Right.
funds are being spent according to council direction, which is for those 4 very specific things.
Thanks for reminding, I forgot about that,
Thank
but
you,
you're right.
thank you, Colette,
So we won't
appreciate
strike
that.
it.
We won't strike that, but just to give you a little background, we meet with our Measure V committee quarterly. We discuss all the things. We discuss the items that we're proposing to bring to you. They vote on it. We have the different departments describe what they're needing at that point, and the departments come together and prioritize what we think is most important at that time for the different departments. And it's very collaborative in the fact that, you know, nobody's jockeying to get the most money. We're all jockeying to get the best thing for the town at that time that is needed. Once we take that list of items, we take that to the committee. They also vote on it, and they have these kinds of discussions as well. Say, you know, what is the intent? Are we following the intent of what was voted on? And then we implement that into the budget and we bring it to you. So that's how we come to the numbers and the decisions for the items that come to you for Measure B. Any other questions?
I had a quick question. Back on the slide where it was representing the lower number of pro funds transfer for 25, 26, the 11 million something instead of the anticipated 14?
Yes.
Or, I'm sorry, just below 11 million. You had said something about the higher revenue from the pro funds?
So,
But that goes, is it structured so that any revenue from the pro funds goes back into the pro funds?
Correct.
It isn't actually offsetting that, right?
that is correct.
Okay,
So
I
you
just
can-
wanted to make sure.
You can see it, it is isolated, the pro funds are isolated in a separate fund, which is why we call it pro fund. But there, if you remember, we also allocated the 10% for reserves and 10% for emergencies or projects. So all of those pro funds are together. The fund that we take this is the main pro fund, where we have that sustainability implementation for the years to go when we received it. So that is where the bulk of the interest is going. So we do allocate it to those other 2 funds, but, you know, as you take it out of one, we are making money on the money, which is fantastic, but we are still utilizing it for sure.
Right, but ultimately that reduced number just represents that we didn't spend as much in the general fund, so we didn't need as big of a transfer, right?
That is correct. and-
Okay.
And the interest is not part of this number at all.
Right.
That is actually what we're utilizing. Any other questions?
Ready for a motion? Cards.
I have no cards on this item.
Go for it.
I don't know the numbers.
I move adoption. Go for it.
I move we adopt the budget as presented with all the correct numbers.
Second. I don't know if I want to second that or not.
Motion by motion by Colleton, seconded by Bolin. Councilmember Bolin?
Aye.
Councilmember Colleton?
Aye.
Councilmember Lang?
Aye.
Councilmember Lassan?
Aye.
And Mayor Crowder?
Aye.
Motion passes.
So 6D, consider adopting resolution number 2026-50, resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Paradise authorizing the Town of Paradise to submit applications for 3 eligible census tracts. Colette.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. So I have the pleasure of bringing this item to you today for Resolution 2026-50, an exciting number, it seems. And so as you heard, we have the opportunity this year to apply for opportunity zones for the Town of Paradise. So we have found that this opportunity exists through the state of California. The governor is going to be recommending certain census tracts within the state. He can recommend
up to about 618 census tracts, which sounds like a lot, but there are many, many, many census tracts in the state. And we're hoping to be some of those. So the town of Paradise this year has 3 eligible census tracts. They are listed in your agenda summary. They're very long numbers. We think of them as number 19, 21, and 23. And those incorporate portions of downtown, kind of going across Paradise, around the high school, Upper Clark, and Lower Clark. So some 3 very specific areas that are eligible this year for Opportunity Zones 2.0. Opportunity zones were something that was created back in 2017 for distressed communities to create tax incentives for businesses to develop in those distressed communities. Those were created for a period of 10 years, and once those were created, they were closed off. What's really exciting about this is this was something we identified right after the fire as something that the town was very interested in advocating for disaster-impacted communities. We advocated for that very strongly. However, unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of traction with that. We really wanted to see some of the same benefits of these tax incentives for businesses to develop in a community like Paradise. That did not come to fruition, but we were so happy this year to find that there is another opportunity to apply for these opportunity zones. And so we are looking for council's support to apply for these 3 census tracts. The applications are now due. There's a change to my agenda summary here. They actually shortened the application window, so they're now due on Monday the 20th. But don't worry, we're ready to go with these applications. We just do need this resolution to show council support. We have widespread community support to apply for these. And so the process is these will go to the governor's office. The governor will then make recommendations. There will be a public comment period. And then those final recommendations will go to the federal level where they will designate those opportunity zones. And this is a very quick timeline. It will turn around, and if we are selected, those would go into place January 2027. So it's a very fast process, and those would remain in place for 10 years through 2037. This would be a fantastic opportunity for Paradise to offer an incentive that really is through no investment of the town. This is something that is created through tax incentives and something called Qualified Opportunity Funds, or QOF, in which businesses pay into those and then receive tax relief on those funds. And so it's something that we could offer our businesses to come here and really incentivize them to develop in the town of Paradise. And so with that, if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Yes.
Yes, one.
We want
We
the opportunities.
Yeah, we were in Marysville with the factory, and we did an enterprise zone back in 2000. It's enterprise zone back then, and it was very lucrative, very good for us to do. They were trying to move people in there. There's a lot of work to it. It's not easy for people to do it. They have a lot of paperwork to do to qualify and then to keep their paperwork every year. But if you do it, it is a very, very good incentive. I'm very excited that we could do this here.
So you have the applications ready to go to talk about the fact that we're a disaster area and all that other stuff, does it raise the chances of us getting?
It is a very specific application. They ask very specific questions, and that is not one of them, but I do try in all of my narrative responses to work that in.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah. And of course, the governor's office is very aware of our status.
If I may, one of the items that they do ask for is information on investment that the community has put into these areas, and we certainly have a lot of investment that we can show in terms of our readiness, whether it be our infrastructure and roadways, our infrastructure and undergrounding, working with our partners. So that, I believe, will give us a leg up.
Absolutely. Even all of our planning activities, everything that we have done, our transportation master plan, our long-term recovery plans, that we have a third update underway, all of those really underscore the investment that we have made in these areas, so that really does help those applications as well. And they like to see different levels of investment from, federal, state, and local, which we can show.
Can we get a fast food restaurant out of it?
Perhaps, if someone went through that process and utilized that.
I didn't know what they were, and
Yeah.
Jennifer explained it to me earlier yesterday, and it sounds like a great deal. It really sounds like a real incentive for people with daddy warbucks to come and invest in our community one way or another, so yeah, let's do it.
I move approval of resolution number 2026-50.
Second.
Motion by Bowen, seconded by Lasson. Councilmember Bowen?
Aye.
Councilmember Colleton?
Aye.
Councilmember Lang?
Aye.
Councilmember Lasson?
Aye.
And Mayor Crowder?
Aye.
Motion passes.
6E, consider reviewing and approving the updated state advocacy platform.
Did you just sit down? What were you thinking?
Colette.
Thank you again, Mayor and Council. I apologize. I got so excited about the opportunity. I think I said opportunity 10 times in my last item that I forgot about this next opportunity for us to talk about our state advocacy platform. So you have this platform in your agenda packet. This is really an update to our advocacy platform that we have created over the past about 6 years. We have done this every about 2 years. And this is really to underscore the efforts and the items that the council deems as important for the town to advocate for. Many of these are very specifically tied to recovery. And we update this alongside our companion federal advocacy platform. So you will see in there have been updates made to our healthcare initiatives and including the outcome of our strategic healthcare recovery plan and what we're looking to do to move that forward. There's also updates related to our work in insurance advocacy and what the items that we're working on for insurance, since that is really primarily at this point a state issue. And so those are the items that we have updated to match in many ways the federal platform, but it is really more specific to the state and the work we're doing in that area. And so I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them.
I would like to hear back on some sort of a regular basis about those efforts. You know, have some sort of a report out on our state and federal advocacy, actually, just so we know. And yeah, what they're doing, what our representatives are out there.
Success stories, anything like
Yeah, what's happening with it. So if we could somehow incorporate that into our regular reports, whether it be quarterly or something, that would be great.
Absolutely. That's something I can add to the recovery updates on a quarterly basis, perhaps, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, that would be great. Because we never hear about it.
Any other questions for Colette? Any cards?
I have no cards on this item.
Hear a motion?
I so move.
Second.
Motion by Lasson, seconded by Colleton. Councilmember Bowen?
Aye.
Councilmember Colleton?
Aye.
Councilmember Lang?
Aye.
Councilmember Lasson?
Aye.
And Mayor Crowder?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, 6F, consider appointing a council representative to the Consortium of Care Committee. Melanie?
Yes, so on June 24th, the seat on the Continuum of Care Committee, previously held by Councilmember Lang, became vacant. So we are asking council tonight to appoint a representative to that committee, whether that be another council member, a staff member, or whomever the council desires. The Continuum of Care Committee is a multi-agency planning body that coordinates the implementation of a housing and service system that meets the needs of persons experiencing or at risk for homelessness in Butte County.
So anybody interested in, what was that, Greg? Were you trying to say something? Okay, so if there's no interest here, I know that our town manager and I had spoken, we had, so did you come up with?
Yes, if there are no bodies here as part of the council that are interested and able to sit on the Continuum of Care Council, we do have the ability for council to designate staff. Considering the subject matter, it certainly would make sense to have a housing staff, one of the town's housing staff, be that delegate on your behalf. Sarah, one of our housing staff, has the ability and has the interest in the background. So if that is a desire of the council, I'm sure that Colette can work with her staff to make that a possibility here.
My mic's working now. I move we do that, yes.
Your mic's working?
Yes, it just started working. I don't know what happened. It just came on, yeah. Sorry.
Do I,
I'll second that.
I'm so sorry. Who made the motion?
I did, it might, yeah.
Greg and Heidi seconded.
Okay, motion by Boland, seconded by Lang. Councilmember Boland.
Aye.
Councilmember Colleton. Aye. Councilmember Lang.
Aye.
Councilmember Lassonde.
Aye.
And Mayor Crowder.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. Item 7, council-initiated items. 7A1, discuss directing staff to develop options for verifying the current population of the town of Paradise. Ron?
Yeah, I brought this up because, well, last year we had 11,000 and somehow we magically lost a number of residents this year, even though we had a lot of houses added to us. And so I'm concerned with the numbers. We all know that an input to a business plan is the population size. That's one of many inputs, but it's a critical input. And if we're losing population, that's a problem. I think the number's higher, but I don't know what it is. And I want to be able to stand behind the number, and I can't stand behind the numbers that they have now. So I'd like the staff to investigate how we can basically come back with a number that we can live with, and then we can convince Sacramento that that's the really valid number for us, if we can. I don't know that we can, but I would love to have a better number, or at least a number that I can look at and say, yeah, I'm sorry, we did lose people last year. So that's where I'm at on this one. So
Yeah,
basically, I'm asking for a study.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would like to see that possibly in conjunction with our new staff position we get with our
Economic development?
yeah. Have that person, whoever that is, involved with that also, to make sure it's something, whatever that number is, or however we obtain that number, it's something that person can use.
And we can stand behind.
Yeah, stand behind and project to others that we're interested in.
I do know that Chico State has done that type of work in the past, and I would suggest the staff investigate that to see whether they're available to provide that type of service for us in some fashion, so that we can, get back some numbers that show what the real population is.
Appreciate that, Councilmember Lassonde. We, two things. First of all, tonight in your budget, you did approve dollars, I believe it was $15,000 towards a population survey. So tonight you did put the monies aside, so thank you for that. That is our first step. I will also tell you that Director Curtis and I had a conversation with Chico State last week to talk about opportunities to possibly partner with them on putting together a population survey. And in our opinion, you really have two different kinds of population surveys. One ends up sort of being a marketing tool for you, which there's a need for that, and I completely understand. And the other is perhaps something that's even has a greater weight, and that is something that we might be able to use with both state and federal funding partners. And so that is really where we are right now, is understanding what our abilities are to get to a population number that, yes, helps businesses from a marketing perspective, but could also be utilized at both the state and the federal level. So it's going to take us a little bit of digging to make sure that we meet those requirements. But if this is something that the council is interested in moving forward with, we have the monies and certainly have the interest in helping out. Thank you.
So do I have a consensus of my fellow council members?
Yes, you do.
Okay, thank you.
At least for me.
So 7B, council members' written reports on committee standing, which is in the agenda, and if any cards on that?
I have no cards on this item.
Okay. Future agenda items, anybody?
I had one that I would like to discuss. I get a lot of questions about how we can improve our gateway into town. A lot of concerns about the temp fencing that is still looming, and the signs that were burned and that are still kind of ugly on the side of the road. And here we are in various capacities, especially in economic development and in our housing, trying to bring more people here. And when you bring people to your house, what do? You clean up. You throw everything in the junk drawer and you make it look nice. So we're asking people to come to town. So I would like to figure out how we can fluff up our gateway. And my intent in asking for that to be discussed is not to impose anything cost-wise or anything on those commercial properties, but just to, on a proactive level, reach out to them and just establish communication, ask, if those temporary fences are necessary. I know Mark had some success recently in a communication with a commercial property on Clark Road, where we just reached out to them based on a concerned citizen about their residual temp fence, and they removed it. So it's just that easy. So I'm not looking to impose anything else on those property owners, but to be constructive about the fences, and then maybe on our end, maybe we can come up with some ideas for a way that some of these burned out signs, which everybody's clinging on to by the skin of their teeth because they don't want to lose those non-legal, non-conforming rights, is that the correct term? To somehow memorialize that in, with a picture and dimensions and something, and then just, like a little placeholder for them at some point, or a future property owner at some point, something like that, if we could look into that. Because I don't want to impose any costs or hardship on those property owners, but I think we need to clean it up. Be ready for business. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. So 8A, Town Manager Report.
Thank you, Mayor Crowder. I will be brief, just a couple of reminders. You heard from Director Hartman about the upcoming community meeting for our general plan. Please be involved. We'd love to hear from you. This is a virtual meeting, July 16th at 6 o'clock. There is a link on paradise2045.com, so please make sure to participate. We would love that. Again, as a community reminder, you'll be getting a press release will be coming out this week, but our emails are changing. So please be aware of that. But I want to tell you that it doesn't matter if we change them, because you're still going to be able to get us no matter what. So we will be having our old emails redirected to our new emails, so the public won't even notice a difference. So when you see that press release, no need for anybody to freak out. We are making sure that if the public wants to get us, they're still going to be able to reach us. So please know that that will be coming out later this week. We had some conversation today during public comment in regards to the grand jury report. I will tell you that our ad hoc committee has been working tirelessly on the draft response that we look forward to discussing during a publicly noticed special meeting that will be held on January 29th at 3 o'clock. Sorry, July 29th at 3 o'clock. That's past our 90-day time frame. So that information will be available on the town's website, and along with the draft responses in advance of that meeting. So if people are interested in looking at that, please feel free to look, and we look forward to your participation. And then there was also another comment about the business summits that went on. I wanted to thank Director Curtis and the whole entire Economic Development Committee for that. This was a great opportunity to really pull our businesses together and hear from them about what's working, what's not working, and how they're looking forward to interacting with us in the future. So thank you to all that participated and helped put that together. I think that was a great first step, and there'll be many more coming forward. So that's all I had.
Can I add really quickly? Don't forget that we have the ribbon cutting for Paradise Elementary School and the grand opening Thursday, July 30th at 4 o'clock.
Okay, so with that, meeting adjourned. We will
Just
take...
kidding, 1 o'clock. Is it 1? Okay. Thank you.
We will take a 5-minute break and come back for the successor agency report.
Hey, we still make 8:30.
I guess we could do a 3-minute meeting.